everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attacker Productions. Today I'm back up joined once again by Jimmy, Jake, and like always, Fluff.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, y'all?
What's up, beautiful people?
And like always, there's buttons down below. Feel free to click them, they're there for a reason. Today's matchup is Fluff versus Jimmy. Gogeta with I would say one of Fluff's classic themes versus Capital and Oryx. Guys, take it away.
Yes, sir. I don't think I really hope people understand that reference. I'm pretty sure like 90% of the people watching that video will not understand that.
Profile that we've done of this deck, we've called it Oryx and Capital.
Yeah, they probably still don't get it there.
How about Dark Broly?
It's
nobody knows who that is.
It's a self-serving reference, and I approve, even though I freaking hate it.
Well, tell us about your stinky deck.
Yeah, so this is Triple Flash Gogeta. It plays Triple Flash.
Yep.
That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Yep. We had this tired joke about it charges energy, and it does that pretty well. But we're not going to go over that. We're not going to rehash that part.
Yeah, I do apparently phantom tap energy every time I activate the activate main on the leader. But in all seriousness, the leader plus Birth of a Super Warrior is essentially a +2 for 1 energy, which this deck wants to have a large hand, because the goal overall would be to put Hyper Evolution on the field and try to win through Hyper Evolution. And this was like, there were 2 matchups that I was looking forward to not having to play all night, and it was versus Dark Brawly and Cell Surge. So, lucky me, I got paired up against Dark Brawly in round 2.
Which I don't know why. I don't know why you were scared of this deck, because I am running Tricolor Broly. You just can't tell because Bancroft took the chroma keyed out all the other colors, so it just looks like I'm running mono black. But I don't think you had anything to be scared of, especially since I whiffed off of the top 5 there, only getting 130k, which was really rough.
Yeah, that sucks.
The problem is that Brawly has the ability to warp cards off the field plus cards in the hand. And I have to have battle cards stuck on the field. So even if you're running an interesting tech, you're at the bare minimum running Brawly. Like right here, you're going to warp a card out of my drop area, which gets rid of one of my targets for Power of a Super Saiyan. And then I have to warp another card in hand. And I kind of just gestured at Jimmy there. I was like, that's why I didn't want to play against this deck. And, I kind of had set in my head that, like, if I do, we're just going to see how it goes. Like, maybe I can catch him off guard. But you had a hand in building this deck, so you kind of knew what to expect. What was your plan going forward?
So I was very familiar with the concept of the deck, because you already showed it to me before, and then I played not an exact variant, but I played a version of I didn't run Triple Flash in the list, but I took it up into Hyper Evolution in the yellow baby starter. So like I knew how that deck wanted to play, which was draw a bunch of cards, start your chain, and then blitz
Deal
out
8
on one
damage.
turn and deal 8 damage, which is 100% possible. So I knew that you were a good enough player at this to not give me so many windows to thwart the chain, because I don't have many options on your turn. Now, of course, once you go into Triple Flash stops himself at that turn. You can no longer EX Evolve. You will have to wait till the next turn. But I was playing with the idea that you would have at least 2 Strats of Universe 7 in hand the entire time.
Yeah, I think I only had 2 in the deck. And that's just because like the card is essentially dead in hand. It's not a combo. It's not really anything else. And if you're in a position where you're trying to survive long enough to get Hyper Evolution, you just don't want a bunch of dead cards in the hand. You want something that's going to cycle or move forward. And where you had been playing the cards to get rid of stuff in my hand is already looking kind of small here. You are going to deal some damage to me, but I'm not I'm not satisfied with the number of cards in hand, and I'm threatening, and I'm worried that I'm not going to be able to get the Hyper Evolution kill on you. So I might have to push in other ways.
So I was really debating here on, was it worth it to awaken you? Which I could have just reached over and read the backside of your leader, but in my head I was thinking you're not wanting to awaken very quickly because you want to be able to draw cards on your front side, which I believe you lose the ability to drop 1, draw 2 on the backside.
Yes.
So I was thinking, well, you're going to stay at 10k or stay on your front side as long as possible, so I'm going to pressure you into at least either forcing you to awaken or catch you on the idea that you're going to stay at 10k for the whole game, which 10k versus 30k, that's simple math.
Bad time.
Yeah.
And then here's a Demigra. The Demigra, again, gets rid of a card on the field. So now I have to come up with a way to get rid of and deal with that Demigra moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Which, it's been said a million times, Demigra just has so much value. Like, absolutely. Just text on card, it's one of the best cards in the game.
Yes. I was not a believer in that card until I played it. And then you just see how good that card is once you're behind it. And even like staring down the barrel of it, it feels really bad.
Oh, yeah.
The one benefit to you letting me awaken this turn is that I'm able to tap myself out, awaken, restand an energy, and then go into triple flash.
Mm-hmm.
That is the one benefit here.
Yeah, which I was banking on you wanting to stay on your front side and keep your draws coming.
I do want to say that I regret having +1 on the Piccolo and getting greedy there, because what I could have done, well, in the moment I was kicking myself for doing the +1 because I was like, crap, I could -2 target triple flash and blow up your cards, but the Piccolo only targets energy cost 3 or less.
Yeah.
On your side of the field. So me doing the +1 was actually better than trying to just do a -2 that would ultimately have no effect.
Mm-hmm. Which it was really fun playing against another triple flash deck because it kind of reminded me of around the time that I got really serious into the game, where it was basically how many decks can we force triple flash into?
Yes.
Yes,
that was part of set 3 format.
Yeah,
or set 4 format.
Yeah, set 4. It was just like how many different variations of the same triple flash chain can we run?
I mean, it was even set 5 for Fluff when he made Pixel Blanket.
Oh yeah, I remember playing against that in Shinron, and it forced the errata to have a red Saiyan leader.
Yeah.
He used the. Oh yeah, Saiyan leader. Yeah, that's right. It was Oolong.
Yeah, you used the Oolong, but you used the black Shenron leader.
No. And also swinging it into Demigra was a huge play. Getting rid of a problem card, and if you swung it to my lead, that would have just awakened me. It wouldn't have done any good for you because all it would have done is just put 3 cards in my hand, then 2 cards from awakening. And so pressuring the battle card is always the best play.
Yep. That Demigra could not stay. That Demigra was doing too much for you and doing too much to hurt me. Like, I had to get rid of it. Had you committed to cards in your hand to save it, I was probably instantly done there.
Quick question. Did you not want to go into the battle set because doesn't the leader on the backside get a draw when you swing?
I don't want to give him hand resource.
But you could have swung towards his Broly. It was in rest mode.
It was in rest mode, yes. Another problem is I know that he does run the Kais that could warp a card on a negate. So he would have been able to warp my triple flash off the field, and then I wouldn't have been able to put barrier on it with Strats of Universe 7.
And also another bad top 5 hit. I only got the Broly the Vindicator in the drop. which was very rough because I was planning on making a big overwhelm play this turn. So at this point, I'm thinking I don't want to give you hand advantage, and I need to get rid of this triple flash. And I know you want to keep the triple flash to be a evolve target for your secret rare. So I'm just sinking all of my attacks into that because I know you're at least going to have to combo at least one card out of your hand.
Yep.
And if I can get super combos, that's even better. So essentially, I'm starting to picture all of my cards' text is just when this card attacks, your opponent places one card in the drop area.
Kind of, yeah. I got lucky, and I had a few super combos in hand. So the super combos are a net 0 change in hand here, which is really nice. But I do think you end up making me burn a couple cards here. And then, but I'm afraid of you just being able to warp it off the field, having some effect that might ignore the barrier. And, you know, I could have saved that strat for a point later in the game, but I figured if I didn't put strats on there, it was 100% dead either way.
Which I don't have any barrier removal in this particular list. But the way I picture it is that if they're going to put it in rest mode and it has barrier, I'm just going to swing into it with a Broly.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Which is the correct path here.
Which is essentially barrier removal if you really think about it. Or they have to, you know, burn a negate or burn, you know, however many cards from hand. Again, just sinking more attacks into it. I wish I could have got the effects off of this this Red Broly here, but you do have to have a card under him for even the auto 2 trigger, which is unfortunate. But the good balancing on Bandai's part, because being able to play that for essentially free would just be absolutely disgusting.
It would 100% be disgusting. And I am digging here because I do want another Strats of Universe 7. And here I do lose another card when the Vegeta comes in, which is okay-ish. I've got my hand counted, and if I can save the Goku here, I have enough. If I'm able to deal a damage with every one of my swings, I'm able to kill you on the next turn with Hyper Evolution. But I'm worried about Oceanus in decking out. And I'm worried about Kai if I can't find a Strats of Universe 7.
And that was my biggest worry, was if you had a Strats of Universe 7, I have no response, really. I had no way to slow down that attack. I do run Protector of the People, but you're swinging for so high that it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
That my only option is Kai. I don't run Oceanus in this list. I really could never find room for it, or never found the energy to do so. I did charge a Kai early on, and in my head at that point, I was thinking, well, I just lost the game. Like, because I just wasn't thinking, because I'm so used to playing. I was looking at Gogeta, and I was like, well, Kai's not going to do me too awful much. I'll go ahead and charge that. And then when I remembered, oh, it's a boss monster deck, I'm like, well, shit. What do I do now?
Yeah.
So a lot of my game was also trying to dig for Kai or clear off your target, so I don't even have to worry about your massive boss monster.
Yep. And I had to deal that 3 damage off of Triple Flash first, and then go into my plays here. I've had Hyper Evolution in my head since turn 1, which is kind of odd, but I've had the play set up. But I'm really nervous doing it, because I don't have the Strats of Universe 7, and if I overcommit here, I'm in a bad spot. So I discarded the 2, and then used Birth of a Super Warrior to just pick the 2 back up, and then discard the 2 again And I think I started to do that, and then I was like, no, I don't want to do that just yet. I have to discard 2 to restand Hyper Evolution here. So I think that's what I'm trying to figure out here is what's the best way to do it. So I'm going to restand him. I think I have a couple combination attack pans, or at least one here.
Yeah.
To give him the 5K. So that puts him at 45. First attack will put him at 50. So I'm going to have to burn a couple attacks before I auto deal a damage.
And I'm still waiting for the strats of U7 to come down. And honestly, I probably would have took the first triple strike, but just to see what come in my life. But I probably would have just been a straight scoop mode right there, which ended up happening on your side, which was surprising to me.
Yeah, because once I lose the triple flash, I'm essentially tapped out. I don't have any defensive options. You've got 330Ks on the field. There's no way for me to recover past that.
Yeah, I feel like there was a moment you looked at that card, and then you're like, yeah, I can't do anything.
Yeah, I can't. There's literally, there was no recover play option. There was no, I was just in a spot where Dark Brawly is the type of deck, the triple flash, or the Hyper Evolution is going to come back in. The Brawly player is going to warp it out. I then lost my win condition, and it would take every energy on my next turn, if I even survived that long, to board another Hyper Evolution. And I even mained Violent Rays, and I think on one of those super combos, I bottom decked a Violent Ray because I was like, I'm going into Hyper Evolution next turn.
I don't need this.
Yeah.
And I flashed the Rebelu there as well, so even if you were able to survive that next turn, I would have had protection.
Yep.
Going into your next attacking turn.
Yep.
With that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed today's matchup. I know me and Fluff have talked about the Hyper Evolution. I feel like if you want to commit more to that deck, it has to be a 4-of for Strategy Universe 7. But with that being said, buttons down below on screen while Fluff does the outro.
It legitimately is a card of yesteryear where it's so hard to get up that chain compared to what current decks are able to do. And until Bandai decides to support that strategy, I just don't think it's competitive. I wanted to give it a shot every once in a while. This is one of those archetypes that I just kind of revisit and relook at. And I'm always kind of constantly reminded that it's just a relic of the past. But as always, let us know if there's anything you want to see on the channel. Let us leave suggestions, comments down below. Make sure to subscribe for future content. As always, read your cards, know your plays. Let us make the mistakes so that you don't have to. Don't play Triple Flash. It's a trap. And Fluff out.